Hey, I am back. This is part 3 of the mini-series where I am reading The People Yes by Carl Sandburg. I don't know if anybody has been following this religiously, but I'm going to keep doing this so that there is something available for anyone who might need or want some familiar voice to listen to or something positive, comforting, and hopeful to listen to. I am here for you. Now, I took a break over the past few days because my body needed a break. I was experiencing some severe back pain due to stress. I actually had an acupuncturist come in and work on me this past Sunday. He biked here and worked on me with a face mask on for a little over an hour, and at the end of the session, he decided not to charge me. Now I can sit without pain and I can sleep better, and I'm extremely grateful. Shout out to Julian Cho. He belongs to Brooklyn Open Acupuncture. I'm going to include his information in the description. And he is also currently working on a fundraiser for a household that has not had a functioning refrigerator since Hurricane Sandy hit in 2012. Of course, I am still accepting tips for my videos, but for this video in particular, please consider donating to that instead, because they really need a refrigerator to store food in this time of the coronavirus outbreak. And for the outfit of the day, this is a lace jumpsuit from Nancy the Girl. I bought it about 2 years ago, I believe, but I recently stoned it and cut off one of the pant legs and turned it into a headband because I'm a shorty. Now, let's read. 19. The people, yes, the people. Everyone who got a letter today and those the mail carrier missed. The women at the cook stoves preparing meals, in a sewing corner mending, in a basement laundering, woman the homemaker. The women at the factory tending to a stitching machine, some of them the mainstay of the jobless men at home cooking, laundering. Street-walking job hunters, walkers alive and keen, sleepwalkers drifting along, the stupefied and hopeless down and outs, the game fighters who will die fighting. Walkers reading signs and stopping to study windows, the signs and windows aimed straight at their eyes, their wants. Women in and out of doors to look and feel, to try on, to buy and take away, to order and have it changed and delivered, to pass by on account of price and conditions. The shopping crowds, the newspaper circulations, the bystanders who witness parades, who meet the boat, the train, who throng in wave lines to a fire, an explosion, an accident, the people, yes. Their shoe soles wearing holes in the stone steps, their hands and gloves wearing soft niches in banisters of granite, two worn foot tracks at the general delivery window. Driving their cars, stop and go, red light, green light, and the law of the traffic cop's fingers on their way, loans and mortgages, margins to cover. Payments on the car, the bungalow, the radio, the electric icebox, accumulated interest on loans for past payments, the writhing point of where the money will come from. Crimes thrown in their eyes from every angle, crimes against property and person, crimes in prints and films, crime as a lurking shadow ready to spring into reality, crime as a method and technique, comedy as an offset to crime, the laugh makers, the odd numbers in the news and the movies, original clowns and imitators, in the best you never know what's coming next even when it's hokum. In sports, how a muff in the seventh lost yesterday's game and now they are learning to hit Desi's fadeaway ball. And did you hear how Foosley plowed through that line for a touchdown this afternoon? And daily death toll of the speed wagons, a cripple a minute in fenders, wheels, steel and glass splinters, the stammering witness before a coroner's jury. It happened so sudden, I don't know what happened. And in the air a decree. Life is a gamble. Take a chance. You pick a number and see what you get. Anything can happen in the sweepstakes. Around the corner may be prosperity or the worst depression yet. Who knows? Nobody. You pick a number, you draw a card, you shoot the bones. In the pool rooms, the young hear ashes to ashes, dust to dust. If the women don't get you, then the whiskey must. And in the churches, we walk by faith and not by sight. Often among themselves in their sessions of candor, the young saying, everything's a racket, only the jib artists get by. And over and beyond the latest crime or comedy, always that relentless meal ticket saying, don't lose me, Hold your job, glue your mind on that job, or when your last nickel is gone, you live on your folks or sign for relief. And the terror of those unknowns is the circle of black ghosts holding men and women in toil and danger and sometimes shame beyond the dreams, their blossom days, the days before they set out on their own. What is this occupational disease we hear about? It's a sickness that breaks your health on account of the work you're in. That's all. Another kind of work and you'd have been as good as any of them. You'd have been your old self. And what is this hazardous occupation? Why, that's where you're liable to break your neck or get smashed on the job, so you're no good on that job anymore, and that's why you can get any regular life insurance so long as you're on that job. These are heroes then, among the plain people. Heroes, did you say? And why not? They give all they've got and ask no questions and take what comes, and what more do you want? On the street, you can see them anytime, some with jobs, some nothing doing. Here a down and out, there a game fighter who will die fighting. 20. Who shall speak for the people? Who knows the works from A to Z so he can say, I know what the people want? Who is this phenom? Where did he come from? When have the people been half as rotten as what the panderers to the people dangle before the crowds? When has the fiber of the people been as shoddy as what is sold to the people by cheaters? What is it that panderers and cheaters of the people play with and trade on? The credulity of believers and hopers. And what is a heart less of a heart because of belief and hope? What is the tremulous line between credulity on the one What is the tremulous line between credulity on one side and on the other the hypotheses and illusions of investors, discoverers, navigators who chart their course by what they hope and believe is beyond the horizon? What is a stratosphere 14 miles from the earth, or a sunken glass house at the sea bottom amid fish and feather stars, unless a bet that man can shove on beyond yesterday's records of men? The hoper, the believer? How like a sublime sanctuary of human credulity is that room where amid tubes, globes, and retorts they shoot with heavy hearts of hydrogen and batter with fire streams of power hoping to smash the atom. Who are these bipeds trying to take apart the atom and isolate its electrons and make it tell why it is what it is? Believers and hopers. Let the work of their fathers and elder brothers be cancelled this instant, and what would happen? Nothing. Only every tool, bus, car, light, torch, bulb, print, film, instrument, or communication depending for its life on electrodynamic power would stop and stand dumb and silent. 21. Who knows the people, the migratory harvest hands and berry pickers, the loan shark victims, the installment house wolves, the jugglers in sand and wood who smooth their hands along the molds that cast the frame of your motor car engine, the metal polishers, solderers, and paint spray hands who put the final finish on the car, the riveters and bolt carriers, the cowboys of the air in the big city, the cowhands of the Great Plains, and the ex-convicts, the bellhops, redcaps, laboratory man, the union organizer with his list of those ready to join and those hesitating, the secret paid informers who report every move toward organizing, the house-to-house canvassers, the doorbell ringers, the good morning have you heard boys, the strike pickets, the strike breakers, the hired sluggers, the ambulance crew, the ambulance chasers, the picture chasers, the meter readers, the oyster boat crews, the harbor light tenders. Who knows the people? Who knows this from pit to peak? The people. Yes. 24. Who shall speak for the people? Who has the answers? Where is the short interpreter? Who knows what to say? Who can write the music, jazz, classical, smokestacks, geraniums, hyacinths, biscuits, now whispering easy, now boom, doom, crashing, angular, now tough, monotonous tom-tom? Who has enough split seconds and slow sea tides? The ships of the sea and the mists of the night and the sheen of the old battlefields and the moon on the city rubbish dumps belong to the people. The crops this year, last, and next year, and the winds and frosts in many orchards and tomato gardens are listed in the people's acquaintance. Horses and wagons, trucks and tractors, from the shouting cities to the sleeping prairies, from worn pavements to mountain mule paths, the people have strange possessions. The plow and the hammer, the knife and the shovel, the planting hoe and the reaping sickle, everywhere these are the people's possession by right of use. Their handles are smoothed to the grain of the wood by the enclosing thumbs and fingers of familiar hands. The early morning in the fields, the brown thrush warbling, and the imitations of the catbird, the never-ending combat with pest and destroyer, the chores of feeding and watching seed time and harvest, the clocking of the months toward a birthing day, the newly dropped calves and the finished steers loaded in stock cars for market, the gamble on what we'll get tomorrow for what we put in today. These are belongings of people, dusty with the dust of earth, merciless as a sudden hawk cholera, hopeful as a rain-washed hill of moonlit pines. 26. You can drum on immense drums the monotonous daily motions of the people taking from earth and air their morsels of bread and love, a carry-over from yesterday into tomorrow. You can blow on great brass horns the awful clamors of war and revolution when swarming anonymous shadow shapes obliterate all names, big names, and cross out what was and offer what is on a fresh blank page. 27. In the folded and quiet yesterdays, put down in the book of the past, in a scrawl of scrawny thumbs and a smudge of clutching fingers and the breath of hanged men, of thieves and vagabonds, of killers saying welcome as an axe fell, of traitors cut in 4 pieces and their bowels thrust over their faces according to the ancient Anglo-Saxon formula for the crime of treason, of persons covered with human filth in due exaction of a penalty, of ears clipped, noses slit, fingers chopped, for the identification of vagrants, of loiterers and wanderers seared, with a hot iron in the breast, the mark V. Of violence as a motive lying deep as the weather changes of the sea, of gang wars, tongue wars, civil tumults, industrial strife, international mass murders, of agitators outlawed to live on thistles, of thongs, of holding plain-spoken men, of thoughts and speech being held a crime, and a woman burned for saying, I listen to my voices and obey them, and a thinker locked into a stone and iron for saying, the earth moves, and the pity of men learning by shocks, by pain and patience, by plunges and struggles in a bitter pool. In the folded and quiet yesterdays, how many times has it happened? The leaders of the people estimated as the price and bought with bribes, signed and delivered, or waylaid and shot with mashed and perjurers, or hunted and sent into hiding, or taken and paraded in garments of dung, fire applies to their foot soles. Now will you talk? Their mouths blasted with a rubber hose. Now will you talk? Thrown into solitary, fed on slops hung by thumbs, till the mention of that uprising is casual, so, as though the next revolt breeds somewhere in the belly of the mystic behemoth, the people. And when it comes again, say watchers, we are ready. How many times in the folded and quiet yesterdays has it happened? You may burn my flesh and bones and throw the ashes to the 4 winds, smiled one of them. Yet my voice shall linger on in the years yet to come, and the young shall ask what was the idea for which you gave me death, and what was I saying that I must die for what I said. And that's enough for today. Join me again for the next episode. See you soon.